Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna take a look at the autopilot on the 2022 Model Y. This isn't probably gonna be my second time to use it. It was kind of odd the first time, but definitely is pretty neat. So let's take a look at it. But first I want to go through some of the settings to make sure all those are set correctly before we head out and give it another test. Okay, so the first thing we want to look at is in the menu here. Go to Autopilot and make sure the auto steer and the FSD visual preview items are checked. So go ahead and turn that back on. This window will pop up that says full self-driving visualization preview. So by enabling the FSD visual preview, displays additional objects in the driving visualization, which include traffic lights, stop signs, selected road markings, and obstacles. So we'll take a look at that once we hit the road. I'll definitely point out items that you'll notice on the screen over here. You'll see the traffic lights and stop signs start popping up on the screen. So what we want to do you want to enable full self-driving visualization preview? You want to hit yes. Now this is definitely different from the full FSD package, which is a pretty large add-on. So this is definitely above and beyond the autopilot. So next we want to hit the auto steer beta, but it says car must be in park to enable auto steer. So go ahead and make sure the car is in park, and then should be able to hit that button there. So says auto steer feature is currently in a beta mode, but auto steer is a driver assistance feature that does not make your vehicle autonomous. So please use it only if you pay attention to the road, keep your hands on the steering wheel and be prepared to take over at any time. So auto steer is designed for use of highways that have centered divider lines, clear lane markings, and no cross traffic. It should not be used on highways that have very sharp turns or lane markings that are absent, faded, or ambiguous. So with that, down here, do you want to enable auto steer while it is in beta? So we want to hit yes. The next item to make sure is the set speed. Just set it to speed limit, or at least that's what I do. And then offset, you can do it by fixed mileage or do it by percentage. I typically do it by percentage. Right now it's set at plus 5%. So plus 5% above and beyond what your stated miles per hour is. So again, this one's set at 5%. Let's decrease it down to plus 3%. So an example of that, if you're driving 65 miles per hour, plus 3% would be about 67 miles per hour. So moving on, the other items, just to double check, usually these are already set for you. The automatic blind spot camera, make sure that's on. Blind spot collision warning chime, if you want to audibly hear it. If something's in the way in your blind spot, then you hear a chime, so make sure that's on. And I keep the display of the speed limit warning on, and everything else should be good to go. So these are my settings here. With that, let's go ahead and hit the road. And when I talk about the gear lever, it's going to be this lever right here to the right of your steering wheel. Obviously the lever that you put your vehicle in drive or reverse. So that's how we're going to set the autopilot, is by using the drive lever. Okay, so we're in a pretty open highway here, and just a couple things I wanted to point out. You know, when setting this up, some of the pop-up windows that came up as we were setting the auto steer function and all that said this basically will work if you have clear lines along the road. So as you can see, my road here, we have a center line, and then we have another line along the side here. So, and then you can visually see it also on your screen. So again, the autopilot will only work if it has clear indications of your lane. Now, if it didn't have a center lane, then this obviously wouldn't work. Now, one way to tell that the autopilot is active and ready to use is if by a couple things. You'll see a little steering wheel in the icon looking thing right up here on the top left corner of your screen. And the other indicator is that you'll have a max mileage per hour indicator right here, right next to your speed limit. To engage autopilot, we're going to push down on the drive lever, down twice. So we'll go ahead and do that. 1, 2. So as you noticed on the screen, certain things turned blue. So for example, the D for drive on your screen here in the top left corner turned blue. That steering wheel icon that we looked at earlier also turned blue. The lanes that you're driving within turned blue. And the max speed, again, based on the 3% change that we set earlier on. So basically, speed limit is 75, and 3% above that would be roughly 77 miles per hour in this case. So basically, autopilot is essentially, in my opinion, cruise control, where it fluctuates your speed up and down based upon the desired speed limit or speed that you have indicated. So as actually right now, the speed limit changed from 75 to 60. So now the vehicle is actually automatically descending down to the 60 mile per hour mark. So the nice thing about autopilot and what it does in utilizing the lines along your lane here is that it basically automatically adjusts to be center of your lane. So one thing that I just did there is automatically took autopilot over into just basically self-driving mode. There was lanes were getting a little funky right there, and for me, felt a little bit more comfortable if I just took over. So to take over autopilot, one thing that we just did there was basically just took over the steering wheel, and it automatically disengaged. If you want to increase or decrease your set speed, you can do that with the little scroll wheel on the right side of your steering wheel. Obviously, if you scroll down, it changes your max speed limit. As you can see, as I'm scrolling down one little notch, it's decreasing the max speed down by 1 mile per hour. And obviously, if you do the opposite, scroll up, it increases it up one notch. With the feel of the wheel, will increase or decrease by 1 mile an hour. If you want to simply change lanes, you could easily do that just like you would normally. Obviously, hit your blinker and then automatically take over the steering wheel to change lanes. And in autopilot mode, if you want to disengage autopilot, there's a couple options. Either you could again take over the wheel like we've done previously, but also is push up on the drive lever one time, and as you can see, everything that was blue turns off and back to its normal color, and turns autopilot off. One thing with autopilot is that you still obviously have to pay attention to driving in case certain things happen. Whether something happens in front of you, there's a sharp turn in the lane, but what it also does, the car makes sure that you're still paying attention by, you'll see right down here, a window just popped up, and now we're flashing blue that basically says apply slight turning force to the steering wheel, and it's just very slight, with a touch of, again, of the steering wheel, just as an indicator telling the car, hey, yeah, I'm obviously still paying attention. So that is one nice feature. Obviously, you can't just sit here and let the car drive for you. So it is one good indicator to make sure that you're still paying attention to the road. See again here, apply slight turning force to the steering wheel. Now we got this flashing blue light, so I'm gonna go ahead and touch the steering wheel a little bit, and it goes away. So I know I have this large overpass coming up, so for me, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and disengage autopilot and go ahead and take over, and go ahead and steer the vehicle with self-driving. So in my opinion, the autopilot is a cool feature. However, it's just a glorified cruise control function. It does the same function as the cruise control, but then of course it auto steers for you too, and you're only allowed to use it when you have basically a dedicated lane with lines and everything like that. Of course, you want to use it when there's not any sharp turns or anything that's going to interfere with the overall function of the autopilot piece, meaning the auto steering. For me, this is something that's probably not going to be used that often, and quite frankly, I don't really use cruise control that often either. So my daily commute is in traffic majority of the time, to and from work. So even cruise control doesn't really work that well in that scenario. So I don't see autopilot working all that well for me in that scenario. So, but if you're going on long drives, like we were earlier, the commute is fairly straight, no obstructions or anything like that, and you're just in a wide open road, then yes, autopilot is a great function to utilize. But for daily driving in traffic, probably not so much. So is it worth it? For me, probably not. Again, if you're a long commuter, wide open roads, then yeah, I would say it's worth it. But it is a cool function to have. It's just unfortunately I probably won't utilize it as much as I would like to. So with that, hope you guys found this helpful. Hope you found some little tidbits here and there that you've learned from, and if you did, hit that like button, and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, because we're definitely coming out with more content here in the future. So yeah, with that, catch you guys in the next one. All right, see ya. Bye.